G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. In this video we are going to have a look at Ubuntu Live Desktop and we're going to see how we can use that effectively for trying out Ubuntu on the Live. So let's take a look. So we'll just start up the Live Desktop here, boot into it, try Ubuntu without installing. So here we are on the Live Desktop. We'll just sort out the display settings first. Yes, that looks good. So we'll keep that and go to full screen. Now when I'm in Ubuntu Live Desktop and I'm trying certain things, there's always one problem I have is installing Simple Screen Recorder. So let's just take a look at that real quick. Normally I'll be in a terminal. We'll add that to favorites. We're probably going to use that a few times. We'll put it up there. Now we can do a sudo apt update. Now just remembering I'm already connected to internet because I'm on a VirtualBox. If you're on a laptop or a notebook or whatever and you need internet, connect to your wireless internet first before doing an update or installing anything to be most effective for that. So let's clear the screen. We've done an update. Now if I was to do a sudo apt install Simple Screen Recorder, as you can see it says unable to locate package Simple Screen Recorder. So there's quite a few things that are not installed. Now the other thing I wouldn't mind installing is, let's do a arrow up for previous command and change that to Synaptic. Package Synaptic has no installation candidate. So they're the two errors you will get if you're trying to install things in a live desktop, especially if you're in the terminal and you know the name of the application and those two names are correct. So let's just run by those again. We had sudo apt install Simple Screen Recorder unable to locate package Simple Screen Recorder and install Synaptic. And package Synaptic has no installation candidate. So there's two slightly different errors there. And the reason for that is the repositories for those applications are not connected. And another one we want to check out is, now this is the one you really do need if you're running Ubuntu Live Desktop and you want to make sure everything's functioning correctly. You need the ubuntu-restricted-extras. Let's check that out. Unable to locate package ubuntu-restricted-extras. Now there's three applications there that you could use on an Ubuntu Live Desktop to try things out, and they are not available directly after boot. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a search for update. Now this one here I believe is software updater. And this one here is software and updates. Unfortunately, you can't read those. I don't know if you can read them better in the menu. Yeah, software and updates, software updater. So what we need is software and updates. Now, under software and updates, if you check the community maintained free and open source software, the universe, that's from the universe, and software restricted by copyright or legal issues from the multiverse. So I feel like I'm in space. We're installing the universe and the multiverse. So what we need to do there is we need to click on close and it'll automatically ask you to reload. So click the reload button like so, and we'll just wait for that to refresh the software cache. Okay, so that is the software cache refreshed and closed automatically. So let's go back to the terminal. Now I'm going to quickly show you a couple of ways of doing things. So the first thing we're going to do is let's see if we can find Synaptic in the software center to keep things simple to start with. So that's the software center open up and populated everything within the software repositories. So let's go ahead and search for Synaptic Let's see if Synaptic's in here. Synaptic Package Manager. So as you can see here, the source is Ubuntu Focal Universe. So that's coming from the Ubuntu repositories. It's not a snap package. So we can install that from the Software Center. So let's do that. And there's a good reason I'm doing this. And the reason is because a lot of my videos do target people who are sort of roughly new within the Linux environment, coming from Windows possibly, and are trying out different distros and so forth, and they might come across Ubuntu, which is obviously the main distro that everyone would probably know about. And I do know that installing applications can be quite difficult if you're looking for a certain application and it's not going to work. And I'm talking mainly the Ubuntu restricted extras. So if we go back into the Software Center and look for Ubuntu restricted extras, no application found. That's something that's sort of hidden in the background of Ubuntu, and unless you know how Ubuntu works, you really do need those restricted extras in there if your country allows it, and that's why it's not put in as a default application within Ubuntu because of restricted laws and so forth. If we have a look at the software and updates, and it does say software restricted by copyright or legal issues. So your country, state, province, whichever it may be, could have a problem with you installing these things. So that's why Ubuntu does not include it within the disk. You know, for those people who can install it, it becomes an issue when it comes to trying Ubuntu out and seeing if it works effectively for you. So what we're going to do first is Synaptic Package Manager. That's open. We're going to open Synaptic Package Manager, and it'll just give you a quick introduction there. I'll close that. I've read it many times. Well, I see it many times. I've probably read it once a long time ago. So let's do a search in Synaptic. Now, Synaptic Package Manager is just like your Software Center, except it doesn't have snaps. So if I was to search for Simple Screen Recorder in the Software Center, for example, now we get two choices here. One is this one here, Simple Screen Recorder Unofficial, which is from Snapcraft, and the other one is also Simple Screen Recorder available from Snapcraft as well. Now that's a snap. Snaps tend to take a little bit longer to install than a normal application. I've got no issues with snaps at all. But when I'm on a live desktop, I just want to install something real quick. And I don't really want to be using snaps on a live desktop. So I'd prefer to use it from the standard repositories. So in Synaptic Package Manager, if you type Ubuntu restricted extras, there it is there, Ubuntu restricted extras. So you've got that in the Synaptic Package Manager. Now Synaptic Package Manager is not a pretty software center like GNOME Software. However, it does the job of looking for those things within the repositories that don't show up within the GNOME Software. As flashy as this is, the GNOME Software, and got all the beautiful icons and so forth for point and click to install, that's all well and good, but there are some things that don't show up in the GNOME Software. That's why we're going to be looking at it here. For those people who are new to Ubuntu, this command here, if I was to hit enter on that, close terminal. I cannot do that if the Synaptic Package Manager is open. That's one thing you'll get to know. I should have known that. I don't know why. I was doing that. So if we was to do that and hit enter, and as you can see, it's now available to install Ubuntu Restricted Extras. I'm going to hit no on that, and we'll close the terminal and open Synaptic. Let's put Synaptic Package Manager, if I can spell it correctly. Let's put that in the favorites, add that to the favorites, it makes it so much easier. Put it up here next to the terminal, and let's do that search again. Ubuntu restricted extras, search, and there we go, Ubuntu restricted extras, Ubuntu restricted extras, and Ubuntu restricted extras. There's Ubuntu restricted extras add-ons. So for those people who are new to Linux, this is the graphical way of installing those things without using the terminal. So you can just click on Ubuntu restricted extras, mark for installation, mark that, and doing that is exactly the same as doing this. And all we need to do is click apply. And it's going to tell you what's to be installed, and all these things will be installed. They're all your dependencies, and then there's the unchanged. None of those will be changed. And we click apply. It's now installing your software. There's a license agreement for Microsoft Core fonts. You have to agree to that, accept the EULA, and hit next. And if you want, if you click automatically close after the changes have been successfully applied, that box will close once it's done. That one's not a bad idea actually. That way, once it closes, you know it's finished. And that's done. So as you can see, your Ubuntu restricted extras are now got a green highlight in the box. That means it is installed. And that's how you do that. Now, the other thing I could do is search for simple screen recorder, like so, and search for that. And there's simple screen recorder, and we can do the same thing. We can right click on that, mark for installation, and it'll tell you what it's going to install, and you can mark. Or I can do this here, simple sudo apt install simple screen recorder. It is the same thing, but this one is coming, anything in the Synaptic Package Manager will be coming from the Ubuntu repositories themselves, not from snap packages. There will be no snap packages in this Synaptic Package Manager. So that's the difference between the two. There's quite a few applications within there that you can use without having to use snaps. I don't mind using snaps if I've got Ubuntu installed, just to try out Ubuntu. If I'm after a particular snap, like maybe Blender or something like that on a live disk, then I would try the snap out. If that's what I'm going to do after I install, then I would use the snap. But just for recording desktop and that, I'd prefer just to quickly get it from the repositories. It installs quicker. The advantages of snaps is you don't have all these dependencies. So if we go to the properties of that, and all these dependencies here, they're built into the snap. So you might have another application that's using a couple of these. For example, I don't know what uses what, but let's just say, for example, I installed, say, Audacity or GIMP or something like that. And let's just say Audacity was using this dependency here. That means Simple Screen Recorder and Audacity are relying on this dependency. But if you install a snap, all those dependencies are in the snap. It's independent, so that the snap application runs independent from the system itself. So that's the advantages of snap. So you don't have to worry about any applications sharing dependencies within the system. So that's where the advantages of snaps and Flatpaks come in handy. But for trying out on a live desktop, I prefer just to quickly install from the repositories themselves. So I can apply that and apply, and we'll do the same thing. So that's my simple screen recorder installed. Now the other thing in this search, let's just search simple screen recorder. So it's already there anyway. So what you see in this package name here, Simple Screen Recorder, is the name of the package. It's the executable name of the package. So for example, if we went to user share applications, and we look for Simple Screen Recorder, which is there, and we right click that and go to properties. If you have a look at this name here, Simple Screen Recorder, that is the name of the application. So if we was to open up the terminal and type Simple Screen Recorder as you see it in here or on Synaptic and press enter, that will open Simple Screen Recorder. So that is another real handy way of finding out what the executable name of the application is in case you wanted to troubleshoot it running it through the terminal. So if we right click the Simple Screen Recorder.desktop file as well and open with text editor, you'll have a look in the executable Simple Screen Recorder there. That is the executable name. So you can do that with most applications within your user share applications here. But if we was to close search, within the user share applications, or if you don't want to bother going through the file system itself, you just look for your package in Synaptic Package Manager. So if we go to Audacity, for example, and search for that, there's Audacity there. If you installed Audacity and you just typed Audacity, then that's how you run Audacity from the terminal. So Synaptic Package Manager, although it's not as flashy as the GNOME software, it can help you find the names of certain packages. So in this case, this forensics-extra-GUI, if you wanted to execute that, you would have to type it exactly how it is here. And it's the same if we search for GIMP. Search for GIMP, and you'll be looking for just GIMP. I must have went past it, I think. There it is there, GIMP. And that's the executable name, GIMP. That's it, simple as that. Now I have a video here of me fixing the fuel pump in my car.
Okay, so I've unscrewed.
And as you can see, the video is working. Wouldn't have been working if I had tried it before I put the Ubuntu restricted extras. Now I forgot to show you that. Forgot to show you the video doesn't work before that. I do have a piece of video where I have demonstrated that before, and that was yesterday. I did a bit of video, didn't like it, so I'm doing it again. So I'll get that piece of video and put it in and show you what happens if the Ubuntu restricted extras are not in there. But photos and audio normally play okay. So before installing Ubuntu restricted extras, we're just going to try a video. And let's just start that video up. And as you can see, the video does not run, doesn't play at all. We need to install Ubuntu restricted extras for that to happen. And I've got a small music file here. As you'll see, music plays fine. Not a problem with music and pictures. That's my 95 Falcon, the day the fuel pump decided to not work. Yeah, and that's pictures opens up. So everything else works all right, just videos. It's videos that do not play. And that's what we're going to achieve here to give you the most effective live desktop to try out Ubuntu. So if you're trying photos or audio, normally photos open up fine and audio plays fine. So there's normally not an issue there before the Ubuntu restricted extras. It's mainly playing videos is the issue, and possibly trying out a DVD-ROM and playing a video from that. If you have one in your laptop or notebook or whatever it is, then that could be a problem as well. So that's another thing. If you do have a DVD player in your device and you wanted to try those, Ubuntu restricted extras are not going to help you out with that. What you need to do is you need to open up your Synaptic Package Manager, do a search for libdvd. Let's have a look for that. libdvd. And you're going to need this package here, libdvd-pkg. That is DVD video playing library installer. So let's right click on that and mark that for installation, and mark that and apply and apply. Click next. Enable automatic upgrades for libdvd CSS2. Yes, we want to do that. So DVD support should be installed after that. You may see some commands if you look on the internet. It might tell you to do a sudo dpkg-reconfigure libdvd-pkg. Now I don't think we need to do that because that normally grabs the libdvd CSS2. It looked to me like it's already done that in the Synaptic package manager. Probably doesn't hurt to run that command, but let's just check that out anyway. This package automates the process of launching downloads of the source files for libdvd CSS2. Please confirm whether you wish this to happen. Download, build and install libdvd CSS2. Oh, let's just click yes anyway. Maybe it hasn't happened yet. It probably hasn't happened. And that is complete. Now I don't know whether we needed to do that, run that command or not. Maybe we had to. It's always best because sometimes I believe, you know, we talk a lot about within the Linux community about pointing and clicking and just using the software, and people don't need to use the terminal at all. Sometimes I think there's just those one or, you know, there's just that very, very small percentage of little things like that you may need to use the terminal for that. I'm not sure. I'd have to put it on my real hardware and try that and see if it works just with the Synaptic package manager install only. That's the only way I would know. I could probably try that. So just a little demonstration here. We're going to have a look at on real hardware. This is on my Toshiba laptop. I'm going to have a look at installing libdvd-pkg in Synaptic package manager to see whether DVDs play or not without running that command in the terminal. So I was interested to see whether it did that. So let's do that. So I'm going to install ubuntu-restricted-extras here. So we do that. So we'll fast forward. Let's fast forward that. And then I install Synaptic. So I've done that. Open Synaptic. Yeah, we'll just wait for that. Do a search for libdvd. That's all you need to search for. And there's libdvd-pkg. So we'll mark that. So right click and mark for installation and apply and apply. So that's libdvd-pkg installed. So this command here, so it tells you to please run sudo dpkg-reconfigure space libdvd-pkg to launch this process for the first time. That's what it says there. So I'm just going to highlight that. That's the one you need to run. So what I did was I copied that into a text editor just so I didn't forget the command, and it was easy to get to once I'd done all this. So I could just easily copy that from the text editor and be done with it. I'm currently putting the DVD in the player. So there's the DVD there. So we'll open videos, which is, I believe, Totem Player. Now, I've never had any luck playing DVDs with Totem Player because it opens the .vob files and you can choose the individual vob files. I just want to play the whole video from the start, just like you would putting a disc in a DVD player. But that's, you know, this is looking at the vob files. So there they are there, the .vob files. And I don't know if it plays one after another, but that's not what I want to do. So what I did was I went and installed VLC. So I searched for VLC, install, right click, mark for installation, mark and apply, and apply. So I've installed the VLC there. So we'll fast forward that and we open VLC. I just wanted to make sure that it either does or doesn't play. So I needed a second player to just confirm that. And as you can see, it's searching and then it's quit. So it's done nothing. Press the play button again and it's done nothing. Open up the text editor there and copy that, paste it into the terminal, enter that, and we'll just choose yes. Choose yes for in this scenario here to whether you wish this to happen, which is automate the process of launching downloads of the source files. So yep, definitely you want to do that. Press yes and away it goes. There it is, done. So we'll try videos again and probably the same problem. Yep, .vob files. I just want to play the videos. So videos didn't really do anything for me, which it really hasn't done much before for playing DVDs. So no surprises there. What we'll do now is we'll open up VLC player and media, open disk, play, and there we have it, and play movie. And the movie is playing. I was just searching for to get the sound going. Didn't have any sound, so I was just sorting that out. And there's the video playing there. No problem at all. Yeah, so that that confirms that you do need to run that command in the terminal. I don't think there's any way around that. I don't think there's a graphical way of doing it. So unfortunately, that's the way it has to be done, to my knowledge anyway. So I just thought I'd confirm that and make sure that that was the case. So this demonstration here should give you the best opportunity of trying out Ubuntu and everything within Ubuntu. You can effectively test it on your hardware, make sure it's compatible, and then once it's compatible, then it comes down to whether you yourself want to use Ubuntu as well and you're happy with the way it works to give you the best possible results that Ubuntu can offer. So keeping in mind, if anything on this live desktop asks you to restart, don't restart, because it's a live desktop. You do not want to restart a live desktop. Otherwise, everything you've done in this video, you will have to do again. So if you have any issues at all, at the bare minimum, you could press the Alt F2 button and you'll get a run command. Press the R button to restart the shell, and you'll see that the shell is restarting. This doesn't work if you're running the Wayland Display Manager. It only works on the X11. So just keep that in mind. And if you want to know about that, just go to About, open that up, and Windows system is X11. So just keep that in mind. So that's the bare minimum. And the other thing is, if you decide to do a full install of Ubuntu, just repeat this process on a full install and you'll be good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video, hope you found it interesting and informative, and thanks for watching.